we can also look at the next slide, which is talking about positioning and layout. So positioning and layout will be, let's say, how to arrange your elements or how to arrange your tags on your page. Then the position attribute is used for placing an element on the page. So the values could be static, so making your position very static, so it's not moving, it's there. We can have relative, so relative to the main page. Okay, we can have it being fixed, so it's fixed, it's not moving anywhere, so when you scroll down, scroll up, it's still there. We can also have absolute, so it's just taking up a specific part of the page. Then sticky is actually at the top, even though when you scroll it will be at the top, maybe when you set it at the top. Okay, so that's what we mean by position. Now position element can then be placed at the top, bottom, left, or right. So after you have positioned the element using these values, you can actually use top, bottom, left, or right to actually put it to the specific place you want it to be. Then we can have static position in normal flow with page. So the normal flow we see normally, or the default one will be your static, not affected by left, top, or right. Then we can have relative, which is the relative to the normal position. So looking at the normal position, it's actually set it in relative to that. Then we have fixed, so it's fixed even when scrolled. Then absolute is, let's say, the nearest ancestor, so the position to the nearest parent. Okay, then the sticky will be position relative to scroll, so when you scroll it will actually try to adjust its position. One of positions must be specified. Okay, so let's see how we can apply this thing in our code. Now I'll say have, let's say, p tags. Okay, or maybe I have a height of what, 50 vh. Then I'll specify a width of, I don't know, let's say 100 pixels. First, let's look at how it's, let's say, looking at how it's looking like, and we will see what we do next. So you can see it's like this. So I'll try to increase the width, so maybe 300 won't be bad. Then I'll reload. Okay, so this won't be bad. Now I'll create a lot of p tags here so that it will actually overflow. So let's see. So so yeah, so I'll be creating a lot of p tags so that it will actually pass the height, so like this and like this, since we'll be scrolling. Okay, so there's it. Now I'll reload. So you can see it's actually passing the height. Okay, so how can we actually make it stick into the container? So how you could do that will be, let's say, giving it an overflow property. So in CSS we have a property called overflow. So I will go to style. Now to do that, so to add a right bar to actually adjust the height, it will be overflow, then overflow minus y. So overflow minus y, or overflow y. So that's the y direction, or the vertical direction. Now what you can set it to will be scroll, so that it will be scrolling, or it will be scrollable. Or if you set it to hidden, it will be hidden, like it won't be showing, or visible will be showing, but for scroll it will actually aid you in scrolling. Okay, so let's see, scroll. Okay, so I think I've set the height to be scrollable. Then you can see a scrolling bar has been added right now. So when I go to here, I can see it's actually working here. Okay, now I would like to set the first p tag to maybe a color of red, so the background of the first p tag. Okay, what you can do will be very simple. So a way to do that will be, I want to bring everything here, so you keep learning every day we actually share these videos, because we can't, let's say, achieve everything when we, let's say, or we can't, let's say, treat everything on, let's say, in the video. So I would like to bring new things for you guys to understand, or for you guys to work your hands on and practice. So container, so I want the first let's say p tag. So it's actually a child, so we can consider the main tag as the parent tag. So we can consider the main div tag here as the parent, then the first one will be the child tag. Okay, so we use a property called the, okay, maybe it's a p tag, so you specify p tag, then you use selector, then you say end child, or it should be one, sorry, so end child. So that's how you do. So you say, like, you collect the main or the parent container, which is the hash container, then the p tag, which is the element you are looking at, then select the first element of the p tag. So you just pass in one. So here the counter starts from one. Then inside here you can specify a background color of red. So that's the first p tag. Then a color of white wouldn't be bad. Okay, that's good. Then we can reload and see. Okay, so you can see there's actually taking the first p tag. So there's a way to take the first p tag using the nth child. So it's very, very simple. Now I can make this thing maybe static, fixed, so depending on the position I want. So what I can do will be position. I'll have a lot of values to apply. First, I'll look at sticky. Okay, then I'll go to my browser and reload. Okay, so it's sticky. So how will we see that it's sticky? So I don't know. So it's actually, okay, it's not actually giving me the output I wanted. Okay, let me change this to okay, let me put it at the top. So maybe, okay, I think they said something here. One of positions must be specified. So you need to specify a position. Okay, so that's why it was not working. So you can go here, specify a position of top being what, maybe 0. So that's the position we talked about in our PowerPoint. So there are 4 of them. So you have top, bottom, left, or right. Okay, so there are 4 of them. So you need to specify at least one. So I have top. Now I say top being 0. Okay, then I can reload and see. Okay, so you can see it's actually sticky. So how is it sticky? At first, when we scrolled it, it was moving with the normal flow, which is static. But when we set it to sticky, it actually went to the top. So it's sticked at the top. So something like sticking it at the top there. So at the top of a dimension of 0. So a top position of 0. So we are sticking it there. Then when we scroll, even though we are scrolling, it will actually be sticked there. So that's what we mean by sticky positioning. We can also look at static, which is the normal flow. Now, what's the condition needed here? So not affected by left, top, or right. You see, so it's not affected. We can also specify static here. So that will be the normal flow. So you don't need this thing here. So let's go. So normal flow, as you can see. We can also look at absolute. Yeah, absolute. Okay. Then I think, let me see, absolute position to nearest. Okay, so now I can give it a top of, nah, I don't need any position. So I'll go here, reload. Okay, so what can you see? You can see the width as, let's say, the width has decreased, then it's being placed like on the other element. So as you can see, it's more like sticky, but it's not at the top. So you can see that's how it is. Then we can also look at let's say relative to relative. Yeah, let's see relative. Okay, so relative is actually in relative of the parent element. Okay, so these are the values I think needed, or the most important values you can have. Okay, fixed, forgot of fixed, so let's see fixed. Okay, then I'll go and reload my code. So you can see fixed and absolute are more like the same. So you can see it's actually there. Okay. So that's what we mean. That's what we mean. So when we say positioning, or when we say the position CSS property, it actually takes in some values. Now the key values you can find will be static, relative, fixed, and absolute, as well as sticky. Okay. So these are the five main ones I could, uh, uh, let's say look at in this video. Okay, then the next one will be our